Hey guys, this is Vol. I'd like to take the time to talk to you about the new Warhammer Fantasy Battles army that I've been working on over the last number of months. It's Empire. We are in 8th edition, of course, and this game actually features my new Empire army in the Wargaming Club out in West Auckland against D-Ron with his High Elves. And yeah, let's just have a bit of a talk about it. Empire are an army that got a lot of boosts for 8th edition. Obviously with leadership, being able to re-roll with your BSB. In my particular army, I've got a collector and a war altar, so leadership 9. The war altar actually counts as a large target, meaning he can actually boost his inspiring presence to 18 inches up from 12. War machines are a lot better in 8th edition because you don't have to guess with them, so cannons are very accurate now, even more so than they were before. Obviously, Empire have access to cheap troops, especially troops that can parry. In my case, I've got 2 big units of swordsmen. And they have a lot of ranks, so obviously get to grind down the enemy with steadfast. Flagellants are very cool now with their supporting attacks. And I've actually got a unit of knights in my army, which aren't really optimal. I think for Empire, I think if you're serious about Empire, you probably want to have lots of flagellants or lots of great swords, troops like that really, and backed up with some good magic, tons of war machines. But when I play an army with Warhammer, I like to have some strong things and some weak things mixed in. I just want to try and enjoy the game as much as I can, bring a fairly balanced army and a fair army to the table rather than just cheesing everybody all the time. And hopefully we'll see a little bit of that. I've got some Outriders as well. Next picture shows you my war altar, which I'm quite proud of. I'm halfway through painting it, and as you can see, it's the classic special character war altar, but with the actual character taken off. And I've put a special warrior priest on top of it. This guy is actually from the miscellaneous section of the Games Workshop website. He's the Blessing of Sigmar model, and he actually comes on a cavalry base, and he's blessing this guy on kneeling down with a gun. But I've just taken that part off. So as you can see, war altar, quite cool. War Altar is fantastic in 8th edition. Obviously, we've got an unbreakable chariot with toughness 5, 4+ ward save. With the new magic resistance, he's got a 2+ ward save against spells. This War Altar gives me an extra +2 dispel dice with the Arc Collector, plus another 1 for my other warrior priest elsewhere in the army. And you can use any spell from the Law of Light at the end of the magic phase. And of course, it's not just bound level, you know, as it was in 7th. You could actually throw as many dice towards it as you want. So it actually is quite powerful. You can banish things, gives you a magic missile, you can buff your troops in numerous different ways. And I've equipped my Arc Collector with a item called the Mace of Hellsturm, which means he only has 1 attack, but he's the best guy to give it to because he can use hatred on that single attack if you miss, and it's strength 10 with d6 wounds if you do actually wound with it, or hit and wound with it. So really awesome item. You probably should give him Van Horseman Speculum as well, but I've used that item elsewhere in my army. Still mulling over whether to just add it to him as well, because it's a good combination. Next image, we're actually playing Battle for the Pass, if you guys hadn't noticed from the previous couple of photos. And here are my guys just stacked up. I've got tons of Empire troops. Actually really happy with the way they're looking. I'm using a lot of washes and things to get these guys looking okay. I'm basically at the stage where they're at sort of a tabletop quality to present, but I haven't gone over them with any highlights or anything. Really looking forward to the way the army will actually turn out once I've done the highlighting stage, but just stoked at the way that the big army looks. You know, when you've got a lot of armies, a lot of models on the field, it just gives your army such a great presence when you're playing Warhammer. On the other side of the battlefield, I've actually deployed my big unit of 11 knights. These are just basic Knights of the Realm. I've got a guy on the right-hand side with a big shield. That big circular shield is actually from the Chapel kit. I initially did this conversion with a Chaos Knight horse, plus, you know, a Marauder head, a sword from the Empire General Sprue, plus this massive shield. And I was going to use him as a Templar Grandmaster, and I did for my first few games with Empire, but I didn't really like that particular army list, so I just made him a Knight Champion. I've also got the BSB on horse as well. Actually, that's not a BSB, it's just a Knight Standard Bearer. The only character in this unit is on the left. That's the Warrior Priest with the beard and the hammer, which I've converted as well, with some chaos parts there. Yeah, characters on horseback aren't really very popular in 8th edition because of the need to actually accompany mounted units in order to get a lookout. So in this case I can get away with 1, but everybody else is on foot. I've got a BSB way in the background amongst the swordsmen. Pistoliers and flagellants turning out pretty well. As I said, I'm quite happy with the way, you know, the basic washes and colours have come out. I spent a while actually getting the bases done themselves, like the actual flock and stuff. Actually paid my flatmate, you know, to help me out for like 4 hours on my day off, just basing the entire army, which was very effective, by the way. Next photo shows you my crossbowmen in the building, accompanied by a wizard, who is actually from the Warhammer Quest kit, which is quite cool. I really love adding these sort of old school, nostalgic, sort of out-of-date miniature productions into a very recent army. That's how I've done it with my High Elves and Skaven, and, well, not so much my High Elves, but my my Warriors of Chaos as well. It's quite rewarding to be able to sort of mix the old and new like that, but I'm quite happy with this photo and the paint job on the wizard so far. And really looking forward to seeing the whole army with the highlights, man. Next image, Deron with his High Elves. He's really just getting started on his army. He's actually new to 8th edition, hasn't played that many games before. 2 big blocks of infantry here, 1 Seaguard, 1 Spearman, 12 Swordmasters in the back. He's got 2 wizards. He's got a Lord on a horse, like a combat lord, with the Ogre Blade, ward save, things like that. Next photo shows him getting the first turn, moving around with the Silver Helms and up with his infantry, and he tries to cast some spells, Pit of Shades. He's got Lore of Metal and Lore of Shadows on his wizards. I've got a level 2 wizard only with Shadows. Really, I think ideally with Empire you want to take an Arc Collector and a Wizard Lord, but in tournaments over there we consider that to be a bit too strong, a bit nasty and overpowered, so I've just decided to dial that back a bit, because the army is actually already very strong in the Magic phase on my side, just given the fact that I've got so many Dispel dice, and I've got lots of different spells to choose from in my turn. My Vanguard movement has seen me move the Pistoliers behind the forest up there, just so that he can't immediately eradicate them so easily with shooting, although he can certainly try. Next photo shows me moving out in my turn, and the plan here is just to get the War Altar in combat with his Silver Helms, because I really want to bog them down and flank them with Swordsmen later on, and obviously get my nice Arc Collector into his Silver Helms using stuff like Soulfire and his big, you know, cannonball mace, so to speak. I've got a Hellblaster, sorry, no, I've got a Hellstorm rocket battery, whatever you call it, behind the building. That miniature obviously is there to represent a rocket battery itself, but in this game I'm using it as a Hellstorm volley gun, which is where you actually shoot the Gatling gun rounds of artillery dice, you know, 24 inches away. So not as you would think. Anyway, this turn it actually pops off some serious shooting, some serious shooting at the Silver Helms. Going to the next photo, you see the other side of the battlefield. I've moved the Pistoliers up in front of his Dragon Princes, which actually are galloping across the river. They've got the Banner of Illyrian, so they don't have to worry about it too much. And made a mistake here. I've got the units aligned so that the Pistoliers can actually take the charge from the Dragon Princes, hopefully shoot a couple down with their pistols before the Knights attack them, but the Dragon Princes will then overrun into the Knights, and I thought, well, that might be okay, because if I can kill a couple of his Dragon Princes and you know, survive with 5 or 6 of my Knights, then I'll have 1 rank, whereas he'll have 0 ranks, so I can steadfast and then grind him down with a Warrior Priest. But really what I should have done is I should have redirected him a separate direction with the Pistoliers, like towards the forest, and then just flank charged him and just used my Lancers to obliterate him. So that was just a bit of a dumb mistake earlier on. Going to the next photo, my Hellblaster volley gun has just unleashed a murderous volley of fire against the Silver Helms, reducing them to just 2 members plus the Lord, so something like 6 kills from that volley gun. I think I rolled up like 18, 20 shots and hit with tons of them, and it just murdered his Silver Helms, something really ugly. And then I put my Warrior Priest, my Arc Collector in the way, and he's decided to charge me. I've got to say this went very badly for him, because his Prince did only the 1 wound against my Arc Collector, thanks to the 4+ ward save kicking in. And then I struck back with my my big mace, and he failed his own ward save, allowing me to just kill him instantly with that d6 wounds. So great way to start the game for the Empire. General against general, and my general coming out on top. Really happy about that. But didn't actually manage to break the Silver Helms on the other hand. Next photo, the Dragon Princes indeed charge the Pistoliers, who fire back at them as they do so, but not getting any kills, unfortunately, so that was a bit of a shame. And as predicted, overrunning into the Knights. But what actually happened here is that the Knights failed their panic check, really embarrassingly, because I'd moved my Arc Collector out of range. The BSB is, in fact, not over nearby this unit, so I actually fled. And what actually happened here is that I fled so far that I actually escaped the overrun, so that actually allows me to rally in my following turn. So that actually was lucky for me in the end, because that means I avoided his charge. However, all things considered, once I rally in the following turn, he can just charge me anyway, so still not a very good situation for the knights. Very bummed that I squandered them in my first sort of YouTube battle report. Next photo, I've got my halberdiers, my old school halberdiers, I must say, the classic ones back from like 10 years ago, moving in front of his infantry. Obviously, they have no chance of beating the infantry, but I'm just there to hold him up for a minute, just sort of try and stop him from charging straight through to my actual swordsman lines, who are not really equipped to deal with such competent and high-class infantry as the High Elves, who are just really good at fighting these days. Next photo, he has moved his swordmasters onto the hill. I'll be wanting to take every opportunity I can to destroy them with my cannons and handgunners and so forth. And unfortunately, the Arc Lector still locked in combat with the Silverhelms, not able to finish them off at this stage. Next image, he's moved his Dragon Princes around the flank, having actually destroyed the Knights. Embarrassingly, the Knights didn't rally, kept running, and the Dragon Princes charged them in the following turn and ran them down. So just very bad luck for the Knights. Got the Flagellants facing off against the Sea Guard in the middle. And in the background, things are shaping up for a serious combat. But the Hellblaster volley gun spins around and totally murders the Knights. Just War Machine's on fire this game. The cannon's taking out both of its bolt throwers, doing wounds here and there to whatever they can, and all the cavalry basically eliminated from War Machine. So very happy with Empire War Machine performance thus far. Next image, turns out we actually miscalculated the placement of the halberdiers, and this sent his spearmen crashing into my war altar, which I was quite happy about, because that means the spearmen are basically stuck there. Although they can hit the war altar very easily, they need 6s to wound, and I've got a 3+ armor save and a 4+ ward save, so this means I can keep the Arc Lector around for a long time. If he challenges us with his BSB, there's a good chance I can just smite him again with the hammer, and if I take wounds, I can, in my magic phase, heal them back with the Warrior Priest's ability. So a great situation for this character to be in. Man, that war altar is so good. Next image, I take the opportunity to flank him with my swordsman, so just crashing into the flank, getting a bit of disruption going on, and hopefully killing enough guys to mean that I have more ranks than him winning the combat. In the other side of the battlefield, my plan here is just to move up 1 unit of swordsmen, taking the charge from the swordmasters. Obviously, I'll get creamed, I'll lose tons of guys, but in a strike back, I should be able to kill 1 or 2 swordsmasters, which is all I need to do to ensure that I have more ranks than him after the first round, and then I can flank him and continue to hold him up, so that'll prevent him from doing a lot of damage with the swordmasters in the long run. And with my BSB in there and plenty of strike backs, I should be able to eventually get rid of the swordmasters and the accompanying mage, I must add. Next photo, this is what happens. The swordmasters chug in, kill about 14 guys. I attack back and get a wound off the sorcerer and a couple of swordmasters themselves, but fortunately holding, allowing me to charge in the following turn. Really loving the way the colours are showing up in these photos, and I just keep saying it, I can't wait till I get the highlights on these guys. It's going to be good motivation for me to do that, especially. Next photo, he moves, on the other side of his battlefield, he moves the level 4 mage out of the unit into the forest, realising that it's a wildwood when we roll for it, so d6 wounds at the end, d6 strength 4 hits at the end of the turn if you roll to 4+, so the mage promptly leaves the wood in the same movement phase. The Sea Guard actually move in front of the Flagellants rather than charging them, because he wanted to take a turn to get rid of the mage and shooting them instead. But man, the Flagellants are ready to kill the spearmen in a big way, the Sea Guard, because the Sea Guard have run out of guys. I've been shooting at them this whole time, and they're down to about 12 guys, whereas 20 Flagellants really pack a serious punch if you've ever faced them before. Next photo, this is indeed what happens in my following turn. I just crush the Sea Guard, reducing them to 2 guys. So that's victory for the Flagellants right there. In the next photo, the mage moves in front of the tower just to avoid the cannons after he passed his panic check, but the crossbowmen in the building sniped him and managed to kill him, so that was quite fortunate. And in the following photo, I've just got 1 unit of swordmasters to deal with. They have wiped out 1 unit of swordsmen, but the other group of swordsmen are whittling them down and eventually destroy all of them thanks to the BSB being there. And the combat in the middle raging on with the war altar, the swordsmen winning many combats but not being able to break them because the margin of victory is very small there, and the BSB not managed to take it. In the final photo, you've actually got the Silverhelms destroyed, The swordsmen have fled from that combat and rallied, and what's happened is the BSB has cut down the Arc Lector finally. I didn't manage to heal myself back, and the Arc Lector not actually losing any points because he's on a chariot. You've got to kill, I think, the chariot and the Arc Lector to get the points, which is sad for the Empire. And final photo, Flagellants surviving the last hail in the turn 6 from the archers, and that is it. A victory to the Empire. I hope you guys enjoyed this. A look at the way the Empire army is going, and hope you like it.